This is Gene Lindgren of Laredo Economic Development Corporation. Gene, thank you very much for having us today. So let's talk about a little bit of what is Laredo Economic Development Corporation and what are the support that you give to the companies and the people and industries that are looking to set up and place in your area.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for asking. Yes. Most cities in the United States and some, internationally have economic development organizations. And so Laredo Economic Development Corporation, and I'll abbreviate it from this point forward, LEDC, is our community's nonprofit, private sector economic development organization. We've been around for nearly 57 years. Me personally in the organization, blessed to be here for 3 years and counting. And we help businesses expand and relocate and succeed in our region. And that region includes Laredo, Webb County, and our sister cities of Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, and Columbia, Nuevo Leon. So we provide business information. We provide on-the-ground intelligence. We provide consulting information, warm introductions, facilitated conversations with banks, developers, landowners, workforce solutions organizations, institutions of higher education, local, state, federal governments, and that includes our sister city and sister countries as well in Tamaulipas, Mexico City, Ciudad Victoria, Monterrey, and we're just so pleased that we're in the position we are to support this explosion that we're seeing right now.
Talking about the explosion, a lot has been said about nearshoring and relocation from China to this big area that you just mentioned. What are your thoughts in this regards? What is coming up? What is coming up?
Well, my elevator pitch is we're having this development and construction tsunami, explosion, whatever word you want to use, it's all good. First of all, due to the USMCA, the new and improved version of NAFTA, and nearshoring and rearshoring is coming as a result of global companies rethinking their manufacturing capacities and footprint to a more regional approach. Now, Laredo in Mexico is in the perfect position. I'll talk about that in a minute. But companies want a shortened supply chain. They want reliable delivery performance. And they've also realized transportation cost increase between Asia and the United States. Some quantify as over 5 times what it was in the last 3 years.
Okay. And how does the Laredo Economic Development Corporation support, helps? What are the programs that you offer if some new company, some new industry coming from Korea or from wherever and want to place? What are the main components that you offer to support?
Most companies, we have this location advantage, right? And Laredo's been a trading city ever since Laredo was incorporated in 1755. So it's the perfect place. It's on what used to be called the I'll think of it in a minute, but it became the NAFTA highway and now the USMCA corridor, and so not just our location is great. But I'll talk about our global trade expertise and our leadership. But the kind of, let's say, programs that we offer are business intelligence, our network of our members, our board members, our stakeholders. Again, public sector, private sector, access to whatever is needed. Landowners, developers, commercial real estate reps. And so having that direct access, that responsiveness, that accountability, to make companies feel like they're the most important business opportunity in Laredo because they are. And so we also advocate for infrastructure improvements and open for business. We're blessed to be in Texas, and we're certainly blessed to be in Laredo in this location. We also provide advice and counseling and facilitation for discussions with the local, state, and in some cases federal levels for incentives. But most companies aren't leaning on incentives as the first thing they want to talk about. It's location, workforce, expertise. And again, we're blessed to offer those amenities to companies. Now, getting back to the, what's going on with China, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
I attended a session last year in the Valley. It was actually a CoStep, Friends of CoStep meeting, and Steve Schellenberger had a presentation, and it's eye-opening. One of the slides talks about China's manufacturing capacity is $3 trillion, okay? 17 times bigger than that of Mexico. So even a small shift of manufacturing capacity, either from a company in China or a multinational company that has operations in China, even a 1% shift in that manufacturing capacity is a 17% increase in Mexico. And so the location we're at also is advantageous because 72% of all nearshoring is going to the state of Nuevo León, mostly in Monterrey.
Right.
And 1 out of every 5 foreign direct investment dollars into Mexico is going into the state of Nuevo León. And so we're going to continue to ride that momentum and provide that support and good jobs and investment for Laredo, Texas as well.
Gene, one of the main issues regarding Nuevo León or Tamaulipas or in the south side of this nearshoring opportunity is energy. Another a solution between the U.S. Texas area and the border and Mexico border to solve this big need of energy?
Well, it's not just energy, it's water, right? And it's infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband. And so there are plans in place to deal with all that. Now, for Laredo, it's a tsunami, it's an explosion, as I mentioned.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, on the Texas grid, on the grid of the United States, it's actually a small percent. Now, most of the successes we're seeing in Laredo, and we're seeing some diversification into more value add, light manufacturing, and maybe even some medium and heavy manufacturing, which uses more energy. Those projects are typically longer term in nature. You start the discussions, and in 2 or 3 years down the road, maybe some commitments are made, and that's great because the commitments set the wheels in motion. But at the same time, the private and public sectors are putting in the infrastructure that's needed to support that growth. It's going to be needed years from now.
One question, Gene, about California. What is the competitive advantage and why is shifting some of these industries or looking to locate in Texas instead of California? Why? And why is an opportunity to relocate in this area?
Right. I mean, great question. There's a very simple answer. We're blessed to be in Texas. No corporate income taxes, no personal income taxes, a light touch and fair regulatory environment, so open for business. California is the exact opposite. High taxes, high regulations, the port constrictions, the Port of LA, Long Beach. When the pandemic hit and all of those restrictions were put in California, Elon Musk moved his headquarters, to Texas, right?
Right.
The Port Laredo, the bridge system, and all of the support structure with the city and the private sector was never once a restriction. In fact, we have projects in place to double the capacity of the World Trade Bridge. This week, we're hearing first time we're going to start advocating for an expansion of the Columbia Bridge, which is part of the Port Laredo bridge system. We're starting a conversation about another bridge in the South Laredo region. Construction's going on right now. You can see in my virtual background at the very top, right above my head, is the Kansas City Southern, now the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Rail Bridge. If you go there right now, you'll see cranes. Another span is being put across the river to support a doubling of the rail capacity. Yeah, so we're blessed to have a number of local and non-local members of our organization that are experts in industrial space, global trade, and so it's our pleasure to be able to have Mr. Tom Simmons, Vice President of Majestic Realty, represent the LEDC, the Laredo market, and provide that national perspective and put it all in context at the event that you're hosting in LA. So I look forward to getting a recap of how that went and drive more traffic to our Rio Grande Valley, Laredo, Texas, South Texas base. We're not in competition with each other. I like to say, let's make the pie bigger, and then we'll worry about whose slice we get.